James Lynch here for Fight Bananas, and I'm happy to be joined by Alex Reyes, who's going to be taking on Tom Nolan, UFC 305, August 17th. We're about a month away. Alex, how's it going, man? And good to
Going
talk to you.
great, man. It's been a while since I talked to you. It's always great talking to you, James, and thanks for having me on. Things are going well. I feel great, man.
Yeah, of course, it's mandatory. I think we do one usually before every fight. When did you find out about this opportunity? We got a little bit of time, like I mentioned, but how much notice did you get?
I think I had about 9 weeks, which
Okay.
was a much larger notice than the last fight. So definitely greatly appreciated about that and taking advantage of that extra time.
Was this the right amount of time off, or were you hoping to get in there a little bit sooner? I know your last fight was back in September.
I say ready to go, but I think it was a good amount of time off. You know what I mean? Got to focus back on the gym, my guys. I had some projects I had to take care of in Big Bear, and got the call. Actually, I was bugging for it, and my manager came through and got me a date, and so I'm excited to get back in there and have fun.
Yeah, and something we've talked about. I know you have so many things going on outside the UFC and everything that you're doing. Like how beneficial is that in the sense that some fighters, they need to fight to make that paycheck. With you, you have so many other things going on. I'm sure it kind of takes the burden off a little bit in terms of a lot of the things you're trying to accomplish because you have so many successful things going on outside the UFC.
Um, you know what, man? It's always a juggling act in life and anything you do, really. Balancing family, time, work. And I'm at a point in my career right now where I'm able to make that balance work very well, and I'm blessed and grateful. And I think things are going well for me. You know what I mean? Tell you what, I wouldn't be changing anything for the world, and I love fighting, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm ready to get back in there and prove why I'm fighting for the best organization in the world.
Just quickly, any takeaways from your last fight that you're bringing into this one? I know it was a quick fight, but what would you sort of take away the most from that fight?
Honestly, just that ring rust. You know what I mean? Getting
Yeah.
in there, touching that canvas, getting back in there again, and letting punches fly. So I think it's the most thing to take away from it is just that ring rust and being comfortable in there and letting go and trusting myself.
Let's talk about Tom Nolan. Obviously, a lot of hype behind this guy. He's 7-1. Were you familiar with him before accepting the fight, or was he one of those guys you had to look up?
I had to look him up. I wasn't familiar with him before the fight. But if you're in the if you fight for the UFC, man, you're one of the top fighters in the world. So everyone's good at this level. And once again, I'm prepared to fight somebody like him. I'm prepared to fight Tom Nolan. I'm prepared to put this guy away. I mean, that's the way I fight, man. Live by the sword, die by the sword. If I don't take you out, I'm getting taken out. Obviously, that's not the way you choose when you're fighting, but it happens. And I'm an exciting fighter, and I plan to put on an exciting show out there in Australia.
Now, as far as Tom's skill set and your skill set, stylistically, how are you looking at this fight?
I think it's a good matchup. He likes to bang. I like to bang. I'm comfortable everywhere. I would assume he is too. But I expect to see a stand-up war for sure.
Training camp, tell me a bit about that. Who've been some of the main guys helping you get ready for this opportunity?
Training camp main guys helping me get ready right now is Bobby Green. I'm helping him as well get ready for Paddy Pimblett. So we'll be heading out there to London here in the next week and spend a lot of time with him. Spent time in Southern California this time. Spent a lot of my teammates and training partners out here. Did some training at my gym and then the local gyms in the area. So a little bit different last camp I did in Vegas. I also was recently out in Vegas, so the thing is I'm not too far from Vegas, like a 2 hour drive, 2.5 hour drive. So I'll drive out there for the weekend, get some work with some of my buddies and guys out there, and then I'll come back and work out here with my guys as well too. So I think camp's going really well. Big difference is I'm doing it at home this time, so I get to be around my kids, my wife, and my family.
Yeah.
Um, it's a big plus, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for that.
How's Bobby looking? Actually, I shouldn't call him Bobby. He's King now, right? If I'm not mistaken, he goes by King.
Yeah,
So
that's
how is
right, King
King?
Green.
Yes, how is King
Oh man.
looking in camp for Paddy Pimblett? I was a little bit surprised they made that fight just because Bobby's got some serious power, and we've seen Paddy get hit a bit. How's Bobby
Yeah.
looking in camp?
Man, Bobby looks great, man. This guy's evolving every single camp, looking sharp, looking great. I'm excited to be a part of his process and to help him and see him and watch his successes. So he looks great, man. So expect to see an awesome fight this coming weekend, 2 weekends. I'm sorry, but Bobby looks great, man. He's ready.
Good. Okay. Well, love hearing that. And so you're going to the UK and then coming back and then going to Australia for your fight. Then a lot of travel, I guess.
Man, I got a busy summer. So just last weekend, I had two of my guys fight. The amateur fighters. They won the 145 pound California state title and the 135 pound California state title. So we had two, 4 belts on the line. My guys brought them back home to the gym. Now I'm going with Bobby out to London here in 2 weeks to go corner him. Then I'm headed out to Australia to fight. So it's been a busy summer. It's going to be a busy summer. It is a busy summer. I wouldn't have it any other way, man. Being around the sport, engulfed in it, day and night, and I love it, man. It's fun.
A lot of people would kind of think that's a bit overwhelming, but I guess with your schedule anyways, you're so used to this, right? The chaos of trying to balance everything. So is it just another sort of couple weeks for you here?
Man, this is my life. You know what I mean? With the school, I got tournaments every other weekend. I'm coaching kids. I got Muay Thai fights. I'm going and coaching and cornering. To me, it's just this is my life. This is what I do. You know what I mean? I'm always busy. I'm always on the go, and I'm grateful for that. I'd rather be busy than staying home twiddling my fingers, figuring out what to do with my time. You know what I mean?
Or stuck on your phone. A lot of people are. People don't really even sit around now. They're addicted to their phones. So you're better off than most, which is great. So how does it impact the weight cut? I know you always make 155, but with all the traveling and trying to eat healthy and all that, how are you navigating through that? 'Cause it's going to be really difficult, I would imagine.
Actually, it's really well right now. With a little more advanced notice that I had and staying a little more active in between the fights, my weight's good. I'm on point. I'm ahead of schedule right now, especially going through these hard rounds with Bobby and helping him through his camp that he's been in, and then training my guys and rotating with them as well. And honestly, my weight's great. If anything, it's more of a benefit talking about travel, getting to go to England, getting used to the travel. Getting a little test run with it as far as get to fly to England, get a long flight, get used to the time chains out there, get out there, get on their schedule, start performing, then come back. Kind of preps me for my fight 3 weeks later. So it's all positive, man. Things are all lining up for me really well, and I'm blessed and grateful, man. So just taking advantage of the opportunities that I'm given.
Take me through your travel time to get to Australia. Like how long is it? Do you have your itinerary yet? Do you know like when you're going to get there and all that?
Man, so I believe right now they have me flying out there the 8th and I'm getting there the 10th. So it's like a 3 day or 2 day travel. I'm losing traveling, which is crazy. I've had a long flight. That's not true. I flew to Fight Island once, and that was an experience as well. But a little bit new to me, like I said, it's like 20-hour flight, 15 or 20-hour flight, something like that. And I know they're 15 hours ahead of us. So actually here in the next week or two, going with Bobby's going to help me adjust that time. And then when I come back, start adjusting my training schedules to be on the Australian time to make that transition for me a little smoother. So my body's awake and ready to fire at the time it's supposed to fire over there.
How's this fight playing out on August 17th? How do you see it going down?
I'm looking to finish this guy, man. It's going down with the finish. First, second, or third. Any opportunity he gives me, any mistake he makes, taking advantage of it, and I'm looking to put him away, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. I'm looking to finish this fight.
And I got to imagine you visualize this already, but 305, you're flying all the way over here. It's been a long road for you, man. I mean, again, we've been doing interviews for years, and you've only had a couple fights, and we know sort of your story. And again, I always tell people this, go check out Nolan King's story on Alex here. Did a fantastic job kind of documenting what you've been through. But have you visualized that moment, what that would be like, everything you've been through, getting that first UFC victory, especially somewhere in Australia of all places?
That's what I'm living for right now, my man. That's all that's on my mind is consume me, and I'm obsessed. You know what I mean? I'm driven. I'm focused. I feel great. My mind's in a great place. My body is in a good position, meaning my weight is great. I feel strong. So I feel good, man. You're gonna see the best version of myself stepping in there. You're gonna see an exciting fight, and you're gonna see my hand get raised, man. That's how I see it, and that's how I view it, and that's how I've seen it 1,000 times already. So um, that's what's gonna happen, man.
Before we get into this next part of the interview, just check out HKUSA. They have great combat sports gear and clothing accessories. You can use our Fight Bananas promo code Bananas20 for 20% off your full order. We got a bunch of fights coming up, actually. I wanted to get your thoughts on these quickly. We've got that Nick Diaz and Vicente Luque fight August 3rd in the Middle East. Who do you see winning that fight? Who do you think gets it done?
Man, I'm gonna go with Nick Diaz, man. I've trained with the guy in the past, spar with him. He's an awesome guy. I run into him at the PI. I've had some conversations with him. So biased, I'm gonna go with Nick Diaz.
Michael Chiesa, Tony Ferguson.
You know what, man? I like Tony, but I like Chiesa more. Once again, he's a great guy. I ran into him in the PI, trained with him at Syndicate as well, some of my last camp. He's an awesome dude, and I stand behind Chiesa on that. Not only is he a great dude, he's a great fighter, and I see him putting Tony away for sure.
Corey Sandhagen, Umar Nurmagomedov. Who's winning that bantamweight fight?
You know what? I'm gonna go Sandhagen, man. I really like his style. I like the way he moves. Obviously Nurmagomedov's gonna come in, try to get to the ground, and I see Corey giving him fits with his angles and movement, and he's slick on the ground too, man. So I'm going Corey on that fight.
Israel Adesanya, Dracus du Plessis. Who's winning that fight?
Hey, I'm gonna go with Adesanya on that one, man.
Benoit
He's a more
Saint-Denis.
rounded
Oh,
fighter.
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean
I
to
think
interrupt
he's a
you.
better fighter than him. He's more well-rounded, and I think he's a better fighter than Duplessis. So I'm going to shoot for Adesanya on that one.
Benoit Saint-Denis, Renato Moicano. You can say pass if you don't know the fighters. It's
No,
your
I'm
division,
gonna
actually.
go the first one. I always mess his name up.
You can just say
Uh,
BSD.
BSD.
Easy.
There you go. I'm gonna see BSD. I think he's a better striker. He's gonna put pressure on him. He's gonna come forward, bring the fight to Moicano. Moicano's tough too. Don't get me wrong, but I seen him catching him on the feet and then giving him fits on the ground. Moicano's ground is good, but I think Denise is a little more dominant and a little more imposing as well on the ground. So we'll see him.
Sean O'Malley, Merab Dvalishvili, who's winning the bantamweight title.
I'm going Merab. Let's go.
And last one, Max Holloway, Ilya Topuria. Who do you see winning that?
I'm gonna go with Max. Max can put hands on
Okay.
me. I mean, Elia's good too. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean. But I'm gonna say Max on that fight.
Now, I'm assuming you have this fight, and then you have one more after this as far as your UFC contract, because usually you get 4 fights. Is that accurate, or what's sort of your contract status right now?
Yeah, man. I actually renewed my last fight. They renewed it. Which
Oh,
was awesome.
amazing.
So yeah, so I got 2 more after this. So I got this fight and 2 more fights on contract. So
Gotcha. So last fight was a new 4-fight deal then, if that makes sense.
yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
good
sir.
for
Blessed,
you, man. That's
Grateful, man. Thank you again to Sean Shelby, man, for giving me the opportunity once again to prove that I belong in the best organization in the world. So I'm gonna go out there and do that.
good. Okay, because I was going to say, because usually when you have the second last fight, that's the one that you got to win and then renegotiate and all that, but that sort of takes some of the pressure off.
Man,
Not that there's not pressure in general, right?
you got to win every fight. You got to
Yeah,
win every
exactly.
fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone's a fight looks like your last, and that's how I'm taking it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I got 2 more after this one.
Your division, there's a lot going on. One of the things people are wondering is Conor McGregor going to fight again? What do you make of this whole situation? We haven't seen him in a while. He's got endless money, but I think some people do want to see this fight with Michael Chandler. Where do you stand on all the McGregor stuff?
Man, it's one hell of a buildup, huh?
I know.
So, man, the man could do whatever he wants, really. He can walk away or he can continue to fight. So hats off to him for still wanting to go in there and compete after making as much as he has and the success that he's had in the sport. But I'm excited to see that fight. I want to see that Chandler McGregor fight. It's a bit crazy though, all the stuff going on and, with him pulling out of that fight, him being a little smarter, in his career and not taking those fights going in with big injuries like he's had in the past and cost them, which they can. But he also probably has that luxury to sit back and be like, you know what, we're not doing this for the money. We're doing this for legacy. So let's make sure we're going there healthy. So smart man on his point, on his part for that. So excited to see that fight though. Taking from it, I mean, it is what it is. These guys at the top in the UFC, they make all the calls and decisions. So, hopefully that fight plays out. Hopefully for Michael Chandler, for all the time that he's put in and all the sacrifices he's made and the patience that he's had, and the title fights he's probably passed up and stuff. So, I want to see success for both of them and excited to see that fight.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense for Chandler to hold out. I don't know why everyone's so rushing to see him get back. He's older. He's made a good career for himself in Bellator. He's fought for the UFC title already. I think for him, this is sort of the last thing he wants to do is get that one big payday. To me, it's like you either retire or you try and wait for the Conor fight. That's kind of how I see his career. I don't think he's wasting time at all. I think, again, he's accomplished more than enough that I don't even think I'm just guessing, but I don't think he needs to make a run back to the title. I think if you have the opportunity to fight Conor McGregor, you wait as long as you need to. You know what I mean? So.
Totally agree, man. Like I said, hopefully that fight, comes to fruition and, success to both of them,
And just last thing I wanted to mention, obviously at the top of your division, we've got Islam as the champ. It looks like Armin's going to fight, although there's some, suspension stuff he has to deal with. But if that fight happens, and that would be a rematch, what do you think of that fight? Because obviously Armin's really leveled up. We've seen Islam level up too. He knocked out Volkanovski, beat Poirier. Yeah. What do you think of that potential rematch?
I think it's a good fight. Islam tends to be a little more patient, and Armin seems to be coming out a lot hotter in his fights. So, what he has something to prove. So Armin's gonna come for him. He's gonna come at him. It's gonna be an exciting fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight, and hopefully that fight happens as well too. Who do I see winning? Man, it's very close. As it was in their first fight. They both have evolved. But I'll say Makhachev still gets the job done.
Alex, thanks for doing this. We're looking forward to the fight. It's UFC 305, August 17th. If there's anyone you'd like to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Just thanks to my family. my wife, my kids for all their support, my manager, Jason House. Big shout out to Sean Shelby for giving me the opportunity again to step in there and fight for the best organization in the world. To my gym, my team, all my students at Cage Combat Academy, and everyone out there supporting me, looking to support me and to see me get my hand raised, man. Thank you guys for all the years of support, continued support through everything I've been through, man. And I'm excited to go in there and make you guys proud. So thank you, everyone.